is going on, my Atomic Cycle Works friends? So today I'm extremely excited and I'm extremely sick. So I'm gonna try to make this video. I wanted this to be an exciting, entertaining video, but I am very, very sick and I've only gotten, I think, like 4 hours of sleep in the last 2 nights. But this seat here, I did 27 years ago, right? Makes me feel super old. And if you watched our previous videos, you knew this one was coming up. So this one here held up very well. We always have the controversy, is leather better than vinyl? And well, this is a real leather seat that was done 27 years ago. Obviously the bike must have been maintained very well because there is really no cracks or anything on here. This wasn't originally an expensive leather either, which is kind of funny because you can see it was an American US leather. It has scars. You can kind of see the distress on it where the cow had some fat scars and stuff, or fat, what do you call them? Man, I can't even think here because I'm feeling so sick. Stretch marks. So the cow had some stretch marks on it, but he doesn't want to change the foam either. So what I had said is we're going to pull this thing apart and see what it looks like underneath. So you can see what I did 27 years ago to the seat. Hopefully there's no like newspaper article shoved in here or any of that stuff. I am going to try our steamer today because what's funny is someone commented on our videos about what is this alien looking contraption behind me, and it is a steamer. It puts off steam. So when you're doing leather seats, you're actually supposed to steam the backside of the leather. So like in a car, you open the seat cover up, you shove this in there and you get the steam going, and it gets it nice and moist, and then you can stretch the material around it. Then you're really not supposed to put it on the top surface of the leather because it could burn it, it could discolor it, it could put too much moisture in the spot and make it kind of wanky, but we all do it. You know, it's kind of like you just do it. I am going to use the steamer to pull the cover off. I'm going to try to not damage the foam because they don't want to change the foam. The only thing they want to change is the front here where the tank actually sits on top of the seat. This style bike had one of those longer pointy tanks, and a lot of them, you can see a gap here, so people would want the seat pan coming up here. On some of the bikes, we would cut this out. Sometimes it didn't look right, you know, because it would like, you'd see a gap or if the seat shifted because a lot of these didn't have hooks up in the front, so these seats would bounce around. So the ones that they wanted the tank to sit on top of it, we would extend the seat underneath it, so this way it went underneath it, and if you look from the side of the bike, you don't see a big gap or anything wanky looking. I just realized I forgot, I gotta get a drill bit and drill out these rivets first. We used to put little pockets on the bottom, which they actually still want because you can put your registration and different stuff in there. We used to have tags on here, which these tags were riveted on pretty hefty. Okay, so the rivets are drilled out. And one thing, if you watch our videos, you know whenever you drill out rivets, the backside usually leaves a little bullet hole. So that's on the backside under the foam. You want to make sure we have to go through and take all those out because if you don't, they could actually poke up through the seat afterwards. So fiberglass pan, I don't know if we made this one or not. Let's try to take it off. I went through and marked this one because we're just going to use this as a pattern because we don't need to change the foam. So we're not going to make a big deal out of this. And remember, whenever you're using pokey, sharp objects, be careful. You don't want to poke yourself in the face. It's easy, especially when you're not feeling well like this and like tired and groggy. You don't want to stab yourself. I've seen it happen many times over the years. I've had it happen many times over the years. I'm really curious. I'm excited. I want to rip this apart and see what this looks like 27 years ago, right? I'll tell you, the glue stuck pretty good. Everything's pretty good on this seat. Although I don't know what glue this is. You know, this is back when we were using, we actually had upholstery suppliers that used to deliver around here, which we don't anymore. We do, I mean, we have a couple home upholstery places that deliver, but they don't do like automotive and marine and motorcycle stuff really. And it is a huge difference. You know, glues that we use have to get, you stand up to sunlight and all that jazz. And this stuff held up pretty good. Held up pretty good. I wish I could say I remember doing this seat, but I don't remember doing it. I remember this era of when we did seats. I remember that this Danny Gray style seat was very popular. We did a lot of them. It actually was good times in the bike business back then. There was a lot of manufacturers, a lot of people building custom bikes. It was just really good times. Business has changed a lot. Back in these days, you never put fiberglass on your bikes. It was always steel. So it was before the big bagger craze, before all the plastic seat pans and all that garbage. Okay, so this is coming off fairly easily. I don't know what the heck that is. So let's see what 27 years later looks like. Seat covers off. Looks like we used, so this must have been, yeah, we used a headliner material instead of sew foam. So it's possible that our suppliers didn't have the 1/4 inch sew foam at the time or something, so we used the headliner material back then. I just want to put this back on. I want to mark where I have to shave this seat down before we get too far. The Sharpie goes to here. Oh, there's actually still a mark here. So there's actually an indentation, the foam underneath here. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna shave this down. This is gonna go here to here. I'll do some measurements to make sure it's symmetrical. I gotta get this off. Let's see if it blows. Oh, the air compressor's not on. Great. Well, you could see the headliner material didn't hold up, which actually, if you know, this headliner material, when you put it in cars, doesn't really last that long. And then this here is actually a closed cell foam. So this is back when we were using a lot of closed cell foams, which the reason I stopped the closed cell foams is a lot of times, if they're too thick, they actually will lose their shape. If you sit on it too long, they'll imprint and they wouldn't go away. Kind of like this front did here, where it has that imprint in there. So that's one of the reasons we stopped. So we use like a regular open cell foam and then a closed cell foam on top of it. But I gotta turn the compressor on. So when I was shaving down the front here, I remember what this foam was. I actually used to use this a lot. I forgot all about it. It's like crazy. It's just a marine closed cell foam. And it's just, we used to get it in like 1 inch thick, 2 inch thick, whatever thicknesses you wanted. And we used to use this a lot. But for some reason, it used to really hold an imprint and change shapes. Like you can see up here, it did. And actually, you know what we're gonna do? I was supposed to use the steamer on this because I thought it would be funny to address one of the comments that we just got about this contraption. But the seat cover came right off because the foam had delaminated after all those years of being on a motorcycle. That's some serious train activity going on outside. So as soon as this fires up, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna see if it steams it and if it takes out the indentations. A lot of times you'll see people on open cell foam, they'll take a steamer and they'll warm up the area that has the depression and then it comes back. And we'll kind of see if that happens on this. One other thing while we're waiting for the steamer to get going here, I wanted to kind of go over some of our videos, because we haven't done videos really in a couple months, except for that last one, or last two, but we had talked about we were going to start stocking supplies and selling supplies and working with suppliers and all that stuff to try to provide stuff to you guys, because we weren't really happy how a lot of the stuff with influencer stuff is. So we do these videos, and obviously we make seats. That's our business. So you send us seats, we appreciate that. You watch our videos, and that's why you come to us, because you see that we care. It's also a big expense to do these videos and a lot of time. So we always try to offset and say, you know, let's justify it by having some sort of extra revenue come in, you know, maybe just to kind of offset the videos and help them out, maybe buy some more production equipment and things to make it easier, or hire someone to do some of the video editing and that type of stuff. We're always looking for that opportunity, and we try to influencer stuff where you would actually, we recommend the product, you go there and purchase it. The reason that we didn't like it was, if I tell you to go somewhere and you do and you click on it, we get our 2 or 3% of the sale, the first sale, but then every time you reorder it off of Amazon, we don't get anything, which I thought was kind of bogus. So I said, you know what? If people are going to buy it from us because of us, we should probably just sell the stuff. After looking, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to get involved now. I started talking to warehouses and different stuff and getting set up to actually buy stuff and sell it and ship it. And the shipping is out of control. A lot of the stuff, the chemicals we use, like the glues and the paints and the dyes, that all has to go through hazardous shipping, which is very expensive. You could just go buy this stuff on Amazon. They have their own trucks and they deliver it to us. And they don't really charge much for shipping. One of the products we just shipped out, they told us was $175 for shipping, which was a lot. And then they billed us $500 because they said there was a delay in their shipping, which is just insane. A lot of that stuff just doesn't really work for us, and I don't want to have to hire people to answer phones, to ship out orders, just to lose money. It just seems crazy. We are going to keep on doing the influencer thing, so if you see something in our videos that we use and you click on that link and purchase it, it helps us out. If you remember to repurchase it and come on and click on our link again and purchase it, that would help us out, because once you order from Amazon, it's in your cart, you reorder, we don't ever see another dime from that. And it really doesn't help us to help our channel grow. Luckily, our seats are our mainstay, and that's what we're really concerned with. In this day and age, you have to try to get any bit of anything anywhere you can, because everything's expensive now. And the same reason we're trying to help you guys out with pricing of seats, and we're doing a lot of fighting with shipping companies to get our pricing down for shipping seats to and from you guys. We're always trying to do something. So let's see if this actually works. So you can see here we have our indentation from that stitch being there for 27 years. And we're just gonna steam this foam. Our seam's gonna go in the same place. He wants the same exact pattern and everything. Really don't want to change anything. I would be very shocked if after 27 years this steamed out. It's funny that we decided to stop using this foam because of some small things, and here we are all these years later and it's still holding up very well. So this steamers are hot, it's steam. We had my nephew one time actually come here and thought it would be funny to put his face in it. You really got to be careful because this stuff will burn your skin off when it gets very hot. You can burn the leather or burn vinyl with these things. It seems like it's just like a nice smoke, but it's very, very hot. This is, I don't know if it's doing anything or not. It doesn't look like it's doing anything. One thing that we have going for us is the new soap foams we use instead of the headliner materials are a lot better. A little better than the headliner material. Doesn't seem to be doing anything at all actually. So if this was probably a year or two old or 4 maybe, but I think because it's so long, it's just not going to do anything. And it's not doing anything. Yeah, this stuff doesn't really shape that well. Maybe that's why we stopped using it. I'm gonna have to use a grinder on this thing to make it look a little bit better. I wanted this video to be exciting, but it's already the most boring video ever. And I'm hot, I'm burning up. I must have like some sort of fever, so that steamer does not help. Okay, I'm just gonna basically quickly grind this down a little bit to try to get rid of this little bump, and then we're gonna move right to patterning. I have a white vinyl here. He had an option of doing leather or vinyl. He was gonna do leather. The hard part with leather, white leather, is it gets dirty. Any white gets dirty, and it's just a little harder to clean. He actually is going with this thread too, which I'm hoping it comes in today so we could shoot this whole video and wrap this whole seat up. But he's going with this seat thread here, which is a Ceraphil green. I forgot the part number. I forgot. I won't even say it because I'll say it wrong. But we're almost out of it. I thought we had another spool of it. I just ordered another spool. So when that comes in, hopefully today we can stitch this thing together and see white with a neon green thread on it, which would be pretty bright and clean. And then one other thing is, if you'll notice, we're going to start putting a color chart on our website too for thread. So anybody doing custom orders, you could see all the different options of threads. And then if it's something available that we can purchase, we'll let you know. But you have to be patient because if it's not something we stock and it is in stock at our warehouse, that could be as simple as a few days. However, if it's something they don't stock, there might be a possibility we can't get it, so it depends, because there's a lot of colors, and I don't know if anybody stocks all the colors, honestly, because there's not even just a lot of colors, there's a lot of colors, and each one has a different size. So like, I had more extensive videos about thread, but like a lot of the thread companies will have an indoor and outdoor or marine thread. Their marine colors are usually very limited. It's just like red, black, blue. There's not greens and purples and all that stuff. So then you have to jump to the regular colors, which are not really made for outdoors. If it's a show bike or a bike that doesn't get a ton of sunlight, they'll last for quite a long time. But then within each one, you have a bunch of different sizes. So they range from a really tiny thread that you can barely see to a big thread that's like a hand sewn thread for like, hand lacing stuff. So there's a lot of options for threads and different things on there. We'll put the chart up and give you an overwhelming amount of cool colors to look at. And then you could always ask for recommendations, and we could do that. Another thing I want to address before we get into the patterning is, you'll notice with our website, we have a new look. We're going for a different look and feel. And one of the things that we're doing is, you'll see it says a lot about, we're a niche within a niche, or a niche within a niche. Basically, the motorcycle seats are our niche. We do motorcycle seats and some other parts and stuff. Within that market, it's a broad spectrum. And I don't like to be typecast into one thing because I love all different motorcycles. So if you have a bagger and you're looking for a really cool, crazy seat that's not comfortable, that you want something just really cool looking that's in your face, we love doing that. If you have a touring bike and you want a bike seat that you can get on and tour with, and you don't care how it looks per se, is custom, but you want comfort, we do that too. If you're 7 feet tall and you're riding a Harley, we will dial you in the best that you possibly get on that bike. If you're into cafe racer bikes and you want style and cool, we make those seats too and customize them. We also do brat style seats, we do racing seats, so it's like the whole niche within a niche means, even though it was the motorcycle industry, we really specialize in the custom and small elements within that. People who are adventure tourists on their bikes and they're going on getting adventure tour bikes and they're uncomfortable, we will dial you in with those seats. It's all about the seats, all about the personal, and all about the little idiosyncrasies that come within that, and that's what we're here to help you with. So hopefully that helps in my monochromatic, sick voice. Okay. All right, so I am jumping ahead, and for you, it's only been a split second, but believe it or not, from that last segment that we just shot for this video, it's been well over a week. We had ordered the thread and it always ships out within a day or two. Our supplier is always very good, and he did ship it out the same day actually. But I forgot that if you only order one spool of thread, you get, he sometimes sends it through the post office, and the post office is not that great at all. And we're going to show you how many different places, as we tracked it, it went in the US before it actually got here. Now keep in mind, our supplier's in New York, right here. We're in Connecticut, right here, and Massachusetts is right here. So from New York, the first day, he shipped it. Next day was in Springfield, Massachusetts, which is 40 minutes north of us, right? So you think you're gonna have it the following day. Well, no. Then it goes to Maryland, North Carolina, Georgia, all over the place. And then eventually ends up right back in Springfield where it was over a week ago. We get it the next day. It worked out well for us because I had the stupid COVID and was very sick. I don't believe in COVID. I think that the whole thing's horseshit, but I know when I have it, well, had it, I don't have it anymore. It was, I don't know, it's weird. A couple times you get it and you feel nothing. This time was pretty sick. One time in the beginning, I got one that was super, super sick, like the flu. Worked out good because I'm feeling a lot better, and we're able to get this seat done now. And luckily, this person was not in a super hurry. And actually, I'm gonna give him a little shout out. He has a motorcycle shop in Connecticut. I just texted him for the address to see, because it's called Custom Works with a Z, and they build custom motorcycles and do motorcycle work. But I had said when I tried to Google it, it comes up with a different company in Hartford, Connecticut, which is not him. So, well, if he doesn't text me back, I'll find out and put a link in our description. So if anybody in the area is looking for motorcycle shops, because there's not a lot of them left these days, and you gotta support the shops. I went ahead, sewed this up, and because we're doing double stitch, like if you watch a lot of our other videos when we do diamond stitching, little COVID there. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we do that, back to the thread. So finally the thread shows up, right? Not throws up, shows up. I have a Mercury Monterey here that we're going through a problem trying to get the materials in. We finally made a decision to change the vinyl that we're using to something different because we just can't wait anymore. It's just been way too long. So the vinyl shows up the day of the thread coming in, right? So the thread's in our mailbox. I grab this material here and I am looking for a thread to match it. So I pull the thread out and someone had stuffed another spool of that green in the wrong place way in the back. Because I know every time I order, I always order double. So I was shocked that we didn't have an extra one. So this whole time, the thread's been sitting here. All that fiasco over nothing. I just got a text. Okay. So he's actually in Newtown, Connecticut. So I don't know how you'd have to hit him up. I'll have to ask him, and I'll put any link to him in the description of our video when he's ready. He said he's in Newtown, Connecticut, so that's down past by Danbury, over by New York. So that's good. So that whole time the thread was here, which is a pain in the butt. Oop, look at that. I ran out of thread right there on the end, and I think I made it. Well, I didn't make it. I wound the thread like 10 times because when you use the thicker thread as your bobbin thread, it does not go far at all. I mean, I think I wound the bobbin thread with this maybe 4 times. So let's just see. We got 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then we have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Perfect. So this one's done. I just remember where I was going with that. You'll have to forgive me. When I get sick, I get kind of airheaded. And even though I'm feeling a lot better, my head's a little congested. So what I was started to say before we jump back to the thread was, previous videos, you'll see us do a lot of single diamond stitch on 1/4 inch sew foam, which is this here. This is actually 1/2 inch with double diamonds. You always make your pieces bigger because they shrink a lot when you do 1/2 inch sew foam, especially with double diamonds. It just compresses that material. So what I did is I made this a lot bigger, and we're gonna take our pattern from the seat and put this on here. You do have to consider that this pattern came off of a seat with a 1/4 inch headliner material, which is very thin. Even though it's 1/4 inch, it's probably compressed to maybe a 1/16, if that. So now the seat cover itself is going to lift up a little bit because we have a thicker material. It is double stitch sewn a lot with a diamond, so it flattens it out some. So there's like a very tough tolerance to know exactly how much higher it's going to be, because we're going to sew on an edging that goes around that wraps underneath it. And And you want to make sure that seam rolls underneath that seat consistently all the way around the bottom of the seat pan. Let me just trace this out here, and then we're going to get going on this bad boy. So this is going to go up here, and this is centered right here. Perfect. Oh, so these diamonds are going to come right up the tank. Man, that's going to be, I hope that works out well. I just traced out our pattern on here. Took a space pen, marked it, then took and sewed up one side of this, and we are going to trim it and then fold it in half. I'll show you. Center right there. And the reason I do this is sometimes if the material pulls weird, you want to make sure your diamonds are, even though you want the seat symmetrical, it's equally as important to have this diamonds the same so that where the stitching comes around, it matches up. So what I'm just going to do is trim this close here, right? So sometimes you got to be careful because if you went and, oh, bad shot. If you fold it like this, you could actually sometimes put a crease in it. So you want to be careful doing it this way. A lot of times you could do it backwards and you can just mark the back side. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to live on the edge. And so I could see here that our line is not as good as I thought it would be. It's off by about 1/8 of an inch in one spot here. When I line these up, about 1/16 of an inch, and this is pretty good. That all lines right up. Yeah, pretty good on that side. So I'm going to sew this one now, trim it, put the back on it, sew it together. One of the things I want to show you, another reason why I stitch it before I trim it, obviously you don't want your green thread to unravel. So if you look everywhere it's stitched, this stitch is stitched over the green thread, it's actually locked off. So I actually go in reverse with the machine to kind of lock it off, because what ends up happening a lot of times with the heavier threads, if you go to pull your seat tight, because it's a bigger thread, it doesn't really move as much, or it moves more, so it'll actually pop out. So sometimes on seats like this, you could actually see the big thick thread pop out, and it just doesn't look good, and it could unravel. So you want to make sure that that's really locked off. Also go through on the back side and tap each one with super glue, which I do sometimes, usually when the seat's done, right before it goes together. Just put a big risk factor using super glue, especially with vinyl, because sometimes you'll get it on here, then it gets to here, and then you move this and flip it, and then that little tiny one drop of super glue on vinyl, it's ruined. It's just toast. You're not getting it off. I mean, you could try lacquer thinner and all this other stuff, but usually you'll end up messing up the vinyl, messing up the pigment, so it's not worth it. So sometimes you're better off just avoiding it so you don't have those mistakes. Also, if you look, actually let me just trim this first. So I'm just looking down to make sure that as this goes around, these are the same size, which are actually off here. I'm going to have to readjust this. I just noticed this here. This diamond is about 5/8 away. 5/8 away. Why does it look different? It's actually about 1/16 of an inch off, so it's actually not that bad. I'll be able to just stitch it. Now that I know that, as I stitch this, I'm going to make sure that that follows in there. And these ones run along good. This front looks great. Let's do the back. And just like that, we have a seat, white vinyl, green diamond stitch, a little bit different than it was 27 years ago. Pretty exciting for me to be doing seats for as long as I have. Pretty old feeling to have been doing seats for as long as I have. So if you like this video, please remember, subscribe. It's like 93% of our viewers watch our videos but forget to subscribe to the channel. So if you could do that, it would help us out. Plus, you get notified every time we have a cool seat or something different coming up to do, and you'll help us grow this channel and show people a different side of the motorcycle industry, which is custom seats and our perspective as a shop doing what we do for you. Thank you.